You weren't told either. Everyone, please stand. And let's begin.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
There we go.
Right, so now we will do our roll call. Randy, can you take that for us?
Chairperson Bob Moda is absent. Vice Chairperson Watson.
Here.
Commissioner Lubes is absent. Commissioner Stolnak.
Present.
And new Commissioner Gant.
Present.
Thank you.
All right, we have a presentation.
Yes. Well, thank you, Vice Chair. He's actually going to be receiving a Years of Service Award. If the commission remembers, we did something a little informal last month, but our wonderful recreation superintendent returned to us recently, and she suggested we do a little bit of a more formal recognition, which I think is very appropriate. And so she has a small token of our appreciation that she'd like to present. Say a few words.
Of course. So, I really don't know where to start. I was kind of unprepared for this evening. And coming back, I'm just trying to get caught up to speed. But I did have to do this evening because Lee has been a very important part of the Rec and Park Commission and just recreation overall. Our aquatics program, we really appreciate all the input. He's just been there the total time. Transportation Committee, just out there working for us, and we really appreciate your time and your patience and your love. And so I thought at least we could do is present you with this plaque, Lee, and say thank you.
Yay. He doesn't have to do a speech since he did one last time. Oh, but a picture. How about a picture with the commissioners, too? Yeah.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
I wore my nicest pants.
There you go. Brandy, we do one with the two of them and then
We'll
with
do
me
a
and the
close-up.
commissioners.
It'll just be a close-up. We'll start having 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Okay. And then if everyone wants to hop
Commissioners,
in.
go ahead and get in. I'll get in there, too.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Vice Chair and members of the commission, this has become one of our favorite parts of each meeting, where we get to take a moment to spotlight one of our many amazing employees. It's always very difficult for us to choose who we're going to spotlight each month because there are just so many wonderful people. But I'm excited tonight to recognize one of our library staff, Kristen Morell. And Kristen has been with El Segundo Public Library for about 3 years. And she does a lot of programming and planning. She works with the youth division and the school services, but of course she also oversees the desk at times. She's been really active in helping with the new ILS, and she has also served on several other committees, such as the Racial Equity Team, the Rules of Conduct Committee. She also has done some work with ESMOA during her time here, and you know, kind of did this really great project, collaborating with them when they had a space exhibit. She created an out of this world story time. She's very creative. She's kind of a go-to person in the library. She's got this quiet nature about her, but she's extremely reliable and friendly, and she's just a tremendous asset to the library. So we're excited to recognize her. If you want to come up and just say a few words, Kristen.
Thank you. I just wanted to say thank you to my colleagues and everyone. Makes working there such a great experience, and I feel like we have an awesome team, and I also wanted to thank you because it's so nice that you recognize us in this way, and I know all the staff appreciates it.
Oh,
So,
great.
thank
Well,
you.
thank you,
No
Kristen.
problem. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
And I always tell the employees, they don't have to stay for the whole meeting. As much as we know you love us.
All right, thank you. And Ally has a third presentation.
I have a lot to say. No, I just wanted to take a moment and provide a recap of the Teen Center open house that we had back in June. I know we've talked about it a little bit, but it was a really fantastic event. And our staff, Devin, Zamora and Rachel Cummings and Linnea and Brandy and really the whole team, the park staff jumped in, Sean Green helped, really kind of giving the Teen Center a nice facelift. And part of that was because the council allocated $10,000 for us to get some new equipment and do some painting and provide some new furniture, because as we all know, everybody knows in the city, they always, for years, have gotten the leftovers, and I said no more of this. We need to give these teens a nice center. And of course, this is just sort of a preview of the bigger renovation that we're going to be doing here in the next year or so. We're really excited about that. But in the meantime, we did want to just give it a little bit of a facelift. So they hosted a really nice open house. Raising Cane's provided food. They had a mechanical bull. They had a DJ. It was a lot of fun. And if you're on any of the Facebook pages, you saw there was a lot of nice comments about the event. So I just wanted to acknowledge the staff and share with the commission that it was a great event.
That's wonderful. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
All right.
Can I make a comment about that?
Yes.
I was unable to attend because I had a previous engagement, but I was wondering, are the numbers up since this?
I knew you were going to ask this question. I'm
Yeah.
sitting at my desk thinking they're going to ask this question. I would have to get that information from Devin. I didn't compare this month's notes to last month, but I know that it did generate some new people coming to the Teen Center because I did hear about that. So I would guess that yes, it has kind of reinvigorated the space because it's summer. The numbers are a little different than throughout the year, so I think we'll get a better sense in as schools picks back up, kind of what our numbers look like. But yeah, I'm thinking that it's attracted some new attention, definitely.
Right, and hopefully there's going to be a better mix of boys and girls instead of mainly boys, because it's kind of catered to that. And I'm so glad that we spent money on furniture instead of having to pick it up from the parkways around streets when
Right.
people, dump their old stuff, because that's
Right.
how it's been for years.
Right.
So it looks really nice, and I'll have to stop by and
Yes,
and see
please
it.
do. Stop by and take a look, and we're excited about what's ahead.
Thank you.
All right, wonderful. So moving to the next item, which is public communications. This is related to commission business only. Within the subject matter under jurisdiction of the commission, we're allowed 5 minutes per person, 30 minutes total. We are not able to take any action on anything that is not on the agenda. I just wanted to remind everyone, but is there anyone here for public communications? Please step up to the microphone, say your name and where you reside.
Chris.
Hello, my name is Chris Edom, reside in El Segundo. I'm just here regarding the skate park, the teen center. Want to make sure we're on track, show my face, know that I'm still supporting it. And I went to the teen center yesterday, was it? For the design
Yeah,
kind
Monday.
of meeting and stuff. Had a good small turnout, but everybody's all excited. I passed out flyers of the 3D model and stuff that you've seen and everything. So just want to make sure that y'all see my face, and I want to be a part of making sure that the skate park is a great design.
Great.
Thank
And-
you.
Thank
Wonderful.
you. And I'll
Thank you
provide
so
an
much.
update on that later in the meeting during my director's comments. But yes, thank you, Chris.
All right, any other public communications? Wonderful, please step up. Say your name and where you reside.
Hi, I'm Julie Rochfort. I live in El Segundo. I'm here for the second time to give you an update on the El Segundo Women's Club Pollinator Garden Project. And I brought you handouts.
Perfect.
Because I'm a visual learner.
One
So
for
there's
each.
2 suggestions. I want to thank Joseph because he's been great about working with us, and it can't be easy because there's 3 of us and we have a lot to say. but you've been very, very patient. And so for those of you that don't know, the El Segundo Women's Club planted the Rose Garden at Library Park in the 1930s. We've been maintaining it since, well, we picked it up again in 2019 and been replanting it. And if anyone goes and walks by there, you'll see it looks a lot better. And our next project that we would like to do is plant a pollinator garden in what we call the old fountain, or you could call it the raised bed if you don't remember the fountain with the fish. So I've given you two ideas. The one that's the most colorful those are the plants that are suggested from the South Coast Botanical Garden. And if anyone hasn't been there this month, try to go, because they've got their butterfly pavilion out, and you can have big butterflies land on you, and it's just great. But they have the most beautiful, colorful pollinator garden, and that's the list from them. Unfortunately, if we want to get grant money, we have to plant natives if we want to get money back. So the second list is from the El Segundo Blue Butterfly Coalition, which El Segundo is not a member of anymore, which I don't understand, but another topic. And those are all native plants. But going through the colorful list, 7 out of 10 are natives, so we could adjust it. And we're hoping that we can work together with other clubs like Rotary. We've started a conversation. We haven't gotten them to agree yet, but started the conversation. And if we can get it going, we would like to have a community planting sometime in August. Just get everybody out there, get a little dirty. It'll be fun.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. We appreciate you. All right, are there any other public comments? Seeing none, I will close public communications. Next on the agenda is the consent calendar. Approval of the minutes of the Recreation Parks Commission meeting of June 21st. Do I have any?
I move to approve.
Do I have a second?
Yeah. Oh, right.
Neither of us.
No, you
were.
can't, so you're going to have to wait. You're going to have to wait to approve the minutes at the next meeting.
All right, we will wait.
Good call.
All right, the next item is unfinished business, and there is none. Next item, new business. The first item is appointment of a new transportation subcommittee member. We will vote and appoint a new subcommittee member. Alternatively, we can discuss and take some other alternate action.
And just to give some history, so our current transportation members are Kelly Watson, and was it Lee Davis also?
Yes.
So Kelly can remain. You can, continue with the incumbent, or you can nominate someone else on the committee, whichever you'd like. And all it takes is a nomination and then a roll call vote.
Would it be, this position would be replacing Lee's role on the committee?
Yes.
Yes, I don't believe that my seat is
Right.
up for vote. Because
It's Lee's.
Right, so it's Lee's seat that's open. Is a nomination required?
No, I think if anyone has, someone can volunteer themselves if that's what you're asking.
Well, I would like to nominate Jeanette.
Okay,
As the newbie, I'm happy to volunteer myself and join.
okay. Are there any other nominations?
No, I mean, I would do it. I'm not on a subcommittee now because Gateway is done. And I thought that you would probably be going with aquatics,
Yes.
unless if you want both of them.
I'm happy to do both.
So if you would like to do both, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay. So do we vote on that, or?
I think you should still do an all in favor.
Okay, so all in favor of Jeanette on the Transportation Subcommittee?
Aye.
All opposed? Right. All right, 3-0.
Thank you.
The second item is appointment of a new Aquatics Subcommittee member. So this is again replacing Lee's spot. I will still also be on the
That's
Aquatics
correct.
Subcommittee. So
I'll happily volunteer, and if we could take care of it this evening, ask that Lee Davis replace my spot on the subcommittee as the community member.
Community member.
So we would essentially just be switching titles. if that's
I would
appropriate.
second that recommendation.
Okay. Please
Oh,
jump in.
Aricia?
So you want to amend
The motion?
Yes.
Amend the motion to include,
Her request.
yes.
I see, so, okay, so we'd like to make a motion to have Jeanette be the commission subcommittee member and have have Lee replace her as the member at large. You
Perfect.
got the language for that?
Yep. And you just need a
Because I
second.
clearly don't.
Julie would
I'll
need a
second.
second, and then an all in favor.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And none opposed, 3-0.
All right. Good job.
Okay. Excellent. All right. You can tell this is my first time as doing this. and
You're
I got
doing great.
5 minutes notice.
You're doing
just
great.
to say. All right. Now we're going to move to the item on reports. We will have the reports of the subcommittees. The first report is the aquatic subcommittee. Would you like to give that report since you were there as well?
Sure. So what we discussed on Monday, the aquatic subcommittee, was the aquatic program manager job classification, which we agreed we'd basically move to the next meeting when we could have the director present and continue those conversations. Still working on the aquatic subcommittee work plan. We asked that we receive regular updates for the plunge at our meeting, so it's a standing agenda item. And then we really talked about, you know, the goal for ESAC and generating more revenue, cost recovery as the ultimate goal. And I'd have to go back to my notes, but I think that's,
And then I think the only other thing was the community, trying to get a slate of events going that also involve the broader community. So connecting with EDAC and seeing if there are ways that we can bring everybody together. So there's a broader, there are notes. That is an agendized meeting that has full notes as well, that can be read into the record if necessary. But yes, it was a very productive meeting.
definitely.
All right. Next report would be the Transportation Subcommittee. We met also this week, and we have a couple of very exciting things happening. One is the El Segundo Connect project, so we have the pilot for that that was approved through not only commission, but also through City Council, and that's going to be starting on August 15th. So we're going to have a kickoff event, and we're going to invite all the commissioners as well as the council members to ride with us on El Segundo Connect that day. We're also going to have a parent and me that same afternoon, evening, so that parents get an opportunity to ride with their child and see how it goes. And we're going to be doing a bunch of marketing throughout the chamber because this is going to bring back what was once the lunchtime shuttle. It's going to bring back, where it's going to bring for the first time a shuttle that's going to be able to take people to all the sporting after school, and it'll also be able to get kids home from school. So we really hope this will help working parents with, you know, some of the transportation, and also alleviate some of the transportation in town around those peak periods, which is, you know, pretty taxing. We also, it is a last mile solution, so it does go by the transit, which is going to be hopefully helpful for people who need to get to the transit. And it will also go by Ralph's, so people can get groceries. So there's a lot of great things happening with that. We're going to be doing a lot of marketing in the next little while, and we hope that everyone will be able to show up on opening day and help ride with us.
Real quick, I was just going to
Yes.
address that right now. I spoke with Ryan earlier, and he wanted me to go ahead and correct the dates. He said it would be September 15th through the November 15th for the pilot. So,
Okay, so September 15th being the day that we'll have then the ride-along and the parent meet.
the ride-along with are we speaking with council?
Yes.
Yes, but I have some ideas, so we can always talk about
Okay.
it later.
All right, so.
But
things
yes,
are-
for right now,
Things are in
September
a moving
15th.
state, and we'll have a meeting to bring you in soon, and we'll kind of get all on the same page. This is what happens when we have meetings at Aricia, isn't it?
Kelly, I had a question because you said towards the end of that this was also going to be a way to get kids home from school,
Kids will be able to take this
from school to home?
from, well, it's got a set route, but it will help with hopefully alleviating the pickup traffic and having people do the loop instead.
Okay.
So I think we shared at the meeting in June, what the route was gonna be. So it's gonna go down, Grand, it goes, there's a Mariposa, it goes past all three of the schools, and it goes to the sports complexes. So across Sabota. So this is all on, there's a website, and it's going to have all of this information.
Is the website up yet?
That's a great question. I know he was working on
We're
it.
still working on it.
Still working on it.
But we can always send you, I don't know if you can hear my mic's not on. We can always send you the PowerPoint that was presented, so you can.
Because
look
I
through
missed
it.
the June meeting. I think that's when I was sick. So, yeah, if I could get that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure.
And it's also in the minutes from the meeting, I think.
Yeah.
All right. Recreation Park Renovation Subcommittee.
Okay, since Chair Bob Moda is out, I will provide an update. So we had our first Recreation Park Renovation Subcommittee meeting, where I went over with the subcommittee the first round of conceptual plans for the rec park renovation, which includes the teen center and teen plaza, so the basketball court and the skate park, the baseball field, Stevenson, Brett Field, and the softball field, the pickleball courts, tennis courts, the lawn bowling area, and then the horseshoe shuffleboard area right outside Joslin. And so we had a really good meeting. They provided a lot of good feedback, and that will be coming to the commission. So after that meeting, I then met with the city manager and the public works director and the consultant to incorporate that feedback as well as staff's feedback, and we'll be bringing that to the commission on August 16th. And we will be inviting the public. We've already started getting word out to the public that they can come that evening and provide feedback on the draft conceptual plans. You know, it will still go to the council at the end of September. So there's some time for, you know, minor adjustments, but we're not looking at this point about, you know, rearranging things in the park, moving the skate park over here, or we're really looking now at kind of finer details. But it's all been based on feedback we've had from the community, from the commission over the years. So hopefully that conceptual design you guys see on the 16th, you'll feel good about it. But you can also always provide feedback then as well. So that's the update.
Okay. Can we ask a question about that?
Yes.
I'm reacting to a lot of feedback about bikes and e-bikes in the
Yes.
park, and wondering if there could be some kind of bike pathing thought about, or even a share the bike path, have half bike, half walking or something. And I realize there's a municipal ordinance that needs to get addressed, but I believe that was passed in 1950 and had something more to do with horses than bikes. But I'm wondering if there's going to be some consideration, because I'm hearing loudly from the public that, you know, they'd like a place to be able to safely ride bikes.
Ride their bikes, yes. So we're actually working on a subcommittee with Chief Bermudez right now to address the e-bike issue, and that will include discussion about Recreation Park specifically, and potentially whether we want to rewrite Muni code so that, you know, children under a certain age can ride in the park, or children on non-motorized bicycles. So we're looking at all those options. And then as far as the pathway, though, the actual pathways, that will be addressed in phase 2. So there's no plans to change any of the walkways or pathways in phase 1. But we will be addressing, I think, some of those issues you're alluding to when we start talking about the e-bikes with the chief.
Okay, and then also the Transportation Subcommittee has met with an organization about electronic vehicles and pathing, and so it would be great if we could close the loop
Okay.
on that as well, just because there's some really interesting Yeah,
We'll talk to Ryan.
perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. All right. Those are the reports of subcommittees. The next item on the agenda is the director reports. So, Ally?
Yes, okay, so I'm not gonna read through the report, you have it in front of you, but I did wanna highlight a couple of things. I don't know if you've been out to the tennis court, volleyball, pickle courts area recently, but we did repainted two volleyball courts and 2 permanent pickleball courts in the area. And I wanna acknowledge Sean Green, on his work and his work on that project. They're beautiful, that we've been getting a lot of positive feedback about that. And so I think it just reiterates that the needs of the park are changing, and we're seeing, you know, different users come in, and we're addressing those issues as they arise. So I wanted to mention that, and then also I wanted to acknowledge, Ryan Delgado on the 4th of July event, Ryan and his team, and I know there were a lot of other staff involved in that. Joseph's team and Santos' team came out, worked ridiculous amounts of hours, didn't complain, had smiles on their faces. You know, I bossed them around and they were happy and pleasant the whole time. And it was a great event. It was a great event. So we are looking to make some minor changes. We want to keep evolving our events. But I do really want to acknowledge Ryan and the passion that he's had for that event for several years. So I just wanted to point that out as well. And it sold out, the event sold out, the wristbands sold out. So it was very well attended. And that concludes my report. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions?
I had a couple of things. You have on the, on your report here about the racquetball courts being closed.
Yes.
Due to the poor and unsafe conditions, walls, the peeling and everything. Are those included in the first phase? What's the future of those?
So they're not included in the first phase. So we did have the contractor take a look at them, and there was no possible way for us to include that in the budget at this point because of the other priorities. And I think that's just what it boils down to is I think we all know it needs to be addressed, and it's a non-functional space, but that's going to take a lot of money. And do we want to put the money there, or do we want to address more immediate needs? I think that's the kind of difficult place we're in right now. But it is slated to be in phase 2 for us to at least take a look at it, talk to the council about it, see what they want to do.
Looking at maybe repurposing it for something else.
Exactly, repurposing
The
it.
rock climbing or something like that.
Yes.
You know, some other
Yeah, we
thing
talked to
than
the
racquetball.
consultant about that. But again, they felt this is a significant project just because of the damage. They'd have to go in and do evaluations to see how the structure's foundation is. There's probably issues there. So again, we decided to put that in phase 2 just because we didn't have the time and the resources right now to manage that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then also I was gonna send something to Ryan. The 4th of July, was great. I was down there with Rotary Club with our watermelon eating. And, I did speak to him about the event times were not posted on social media enough. So people were like, what time is this? What time's the diaper derby? You know, instead of just having the board there, people were wanting to kind of know when to come down. And also I wanted to talk to him about maybe bringing back some of the old things that we used to have in the past at 4th of July. You
Like
know,
which things?
like greased pole. There were a lot of old-time fun things that would be fun. And then I was trying to remember, Lee, do you remember when we were younger when they would shoot the army men in the air with the parachutes, and if you got them somewhere in the park, you could turn it in and get a prize.
Oh, okay.
So there were a lot of old-time things that I think that we could bring back and add to the event. So I was going to send that to Ryan. But it was another great turnout, a lot of families, a lot of participation. And it's always, you know, something to look forward to. And there were people posting on Facebook about, you know, that's always been a thing that I remembered about El Segundo growing up there, and I haven't found it anywhere else that they have moved to.
Thanks.
So that's it. Thank you.
All right, any other questions about the director report? So, do we have also I don't see it separately on the agenda, but do we have a parks report as well?
The parks information should be included.
Okay, but all right, so nothing specific that needs to get called out.
Unless Joseph or Santos has anything specific they need to address? Yeah, okay.
There's nobody yelling about trees? I know, that's what I'm saying. I see you're both here.
Pretty quiet,
Okay,
yeah.
excellent. That's what we like to hear.
End of the year budget, so tree trimming slowed down.
Okay,
We'll be keeping that going.
okay.
Oh, right here.
All right, wonderful. Thank you.
We just-
All right, with that, the section on reports is complete, and we will go now to commissioner comments. Commissioner Stolnak.
I just wanted to talk about a couple of things. I see somebody has attended, so she'll do it in public communication, but I just want to say that I attended down at the beach 2 weeks ago to see the blue butterflies. And that's the first time in my life, and I've lived there my whole life and have never seen a blue in person. And so it was really pretty amazing to see them, neat thing to see, and I encouraged people to go down there. And be sure to feed the kitty in the parking, because I got a $63 parking ticket, even though I was just there for a few minutes. And also I wanted to talk about the music that they recently had in the library, when they had that, the guitar quartet that was there. My mom and I attended that. There were probably about 50 people that were there, and it was a nice venue to have in it, or nice venue to have it in. And I think we ought to do more of that. I think money well spent. I think that's coming out from the Arts and Culture Committee. And I did give Roz a suggestion that maybe we could have slack key guitar sometime, you know, a little bit of Hawaiian music. But it was really nice, and I thought it was nicely attended. And so I hope to see more of that instead of just at the high school, the performing arts where it's larger, do some smaller things. So that's all that I have right now. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Gant.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you all for welcoming me. I'm happy to be here. And I also attended the July 4th event, which, yeah, huge shout out to staff. I know it's a lot to set up, a lot to clean up. Really appreciate it. And I'm really excited as a commission in any way we can to support the sponsorship program, because I agree we could bring back some old-fashioned items, fun things, but I think we can definitely do more and have just more entertainment, more activities. And so in any way that we can support the sponsorship program, I would love to help. And yeah, just a huge thanks to staff. I know it cannot be fun cleaning up all of that. So, actually, I know it's not fun cleaning up all of that, so that's it.
All right, excellent. And then from me, I just wanted to, number one, welcome back, Aricia. We have missed you. So it's great to have you back. And welcome to Commissioner Gant, because you're in for a fun ride. We have a lot going on. Best wishes to Lee Davis. We are going to miss you. And hopefully we'll just keep roping you back in with different initiatives. Congrats to Ryan and all the staff for, not only event, but just everything you do. There's so much going on, and, Aricia's been out, so there's been a heavy lift, and there's just, there's a lot that these folks do. So just thank you from all of us. All right, next item is staff comments. Aricia.
I really don't have a lot this evening. I just want to say I'm glad to be back, and I'm glad to see everyone's faces. Welcome to Jeanette. Jeanette, I love that I'm back working with you. It's great. And I really miss the commission. I just miss being here, hearing the ideas. Lee, you're not going anywhere. I'm not going to let you go anywhere. You're going to be here always. Just seeing park staff, it's just great to be back, and I'm ready to get working on some different processes and procedures with the department right now. So digging down deep, doing a lot of reading right now. Allie has me doing a lot of reading, but it's great. So next meeting, I should have more to report out on.
Great, and then Allie.
Yes, so I also wanted to echo the welcome back to Aricia. It is such an amazing help to have her back. And we've just been, there's a lot to get caught up on, but also, I had only been here a few months, when she unfortunately had to step out for a bit. And so I mean, we were just scrambling and trying to figure out what we were doing, so it's great to have someone, that has the historical knowledge of the department, has a lot of relationships with the staff, so I'm super looking forward to working with her. And also I wanted to thank Joseph and acknowledge Joseph Casillas. So Joseph was our acting park superintendent for the last 6 months, and under his leadership and Sean Green, the parks team they accomplished so many things. I mean, every day there was something new that they were creating, replacing windscreens out at the fields with our new beautiful logo. Just really worked their tails off, and I was so proud. I am so proud of them. And I know that they made Christopher proud, as we saw Christopher yesterday, and I think he was really, really pleased to hear all the great things. Christopher's doing well. I don't yet know when he'll return to work, but it was good to see Christopher. And then I wanted to congratulate Santos. Santos is now our new acting park superintendent, so he'll be stepping in and taking over at the helm. And I have always enjoyed working with Santos, and I look forward to us continuing to do that. So excited. And then I wasn't sure if the commission was aware that Sam Lee resigned from his position. He was our cultural arts coordinator. So I am in the process of looking at that job description and potentially making some changes. And Aricia is making some changes with her staff as well. I think from time to time it's good to kind of make moves and get people in new places just to reinvigorate them and get get the blood flowing a little bit and for their professional growth. So perhaps at the next meeting we can provide an update on some of those staffing changes. But I think we're all just so thrilled to have kind of our team back together and so much to do, so much to work on, but I think we're all positive. So that concludes my comments.
Wonderful, thank you, and welcome, Santos.
Thank you.
Kelly, before you go on, I made a mistake. I thought that we had 2 public communications, one at the beginning and one at the end, and Monica with the Blue Butterflies contacted me earlier today that she was gonna be a little late, wanted to speak, and I said, well, don't worry, we have public communications at the end as well. And she's here, and now I see on the agenda we don't have a second public communications.
You can reopen public comment.
Okay, all right.
If you'd like to. Chair can.
Then I will do that. Let's reopen public communications.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry, I had a commitment with my daughter I couldn't get out of, but thank you for having me.
Of course.
So as you all know, I have been championing the El Segundo blue butterfly habitat restoration for our endangered species. And Joseph here has been gracious. We've driven around and seen a lot of good opportunities within Parks and Rec. We did the tours that Julie mentioned that we posted all through all the different Facebook groups in town. We had over 60 people altogether come on the 3 tours. We have over 18 people that have signed up wanting to plant plants in their yard. Joseph has already planted some at Library Park, so we're grateful for that. Chevron has also contributed by ordering plants, so we need to find good locations for those plants and good watering systems within some areas within Parks and Rec. Joseph has some good ideas for that. Additionally, I know Rotary, we've given Rotary some information, and they're working on a grant right now, so we don't know how much that will be, but we're able to get the plants at a discounted price instead of $12, like $6 a gallon tub. So I just wanted to share all that we have been doing that will hopefully, in a positive way, affect Parks and Rec grounds and our pollinator gardens and our native blue butterfly habitats. And one of my visions is to educate the youth so that as this next generation comes up, they can look and say, oh, well, that's blue butterfly habitat, don't mess with that. Because, so with that, one of the Girl Scout leaders, moms, has contacted me, and I took her on a private little tour, and they're doing a whole year's worth of education for their troop, including planting of some of this, hopefully the money from Chevron and or Rotary. That's what their whole mission is. And with that, I want to include that at the ribbon cutting ceremony for the middle school, they planted a big habitat between the new gymnasium and the housing. There's a strip about 20 feet wide by 100 yards long. And that was a bioswale, and I was able to get them the right plant list, and they were able to get the right plants at just the right time. And Richmond is also going to be planting a habitat. Additionally, I talked to Scott Houston today from the Municipal
District.
Water
Mhm.
District, yes, I want to
Yep.
get the right words. And he is interested in working with us to write some grants for monies that they have for drought-tolerant planting. So there's a lot to report. There's a lot of positive movement. We need to continue to have support from Parks and Rec and Santos now. I'm sorry to see you leave, but we're going to take it one step at a time. Additionally, there is an El Segundo Blue Butterfly Coalition that's out of the Bologna Wetlands area and Playa del Rey. And this coalition is where all of the different groups that are doing blue butterfly habitat, both down in Redondo, because the habitat technically extends from Redondo Beach to Marina del Rey. And it's all this coastal zone, the ancient dunes as they call it. And they all have representatives for these different groups that are in this coalition. And our previous Parks and Rec, Meredith, was in that coalition group. And they would like to ask that the current Parks and Rec director also be a part of that group. And I would like to ask if we could set up a meeting with the coalition so that we can report what we're doing. You know, not just me, but the Parks and Rec as well. So they said that because it's all the work that we're doing is on the Parks and Rec grounds, they're concerned about maintenance long-term. Like when you plant a tree, you have to think about a 50, 100-year lifespan. You also need to think about a long lifespan for these habitats. So they would like to not just have us, but have the Parks and Rec department also be part of that. So I'd like to set up a time that we can set up a meeting with her. It's a very powerful group. There's a Palos Verdes PVPLC, Palos Verdes Peninsula Land Conservancy, and they are the ones that are growing our plants right now that we've purchased through Chevron's financial contribution. And they're a big player in this group too. So I think that El Segundo should have a seat at the table. Okay. Thank you.
That's very
Thank
cool.
you for all you guys have done.
Thank you very much for all you've done. That's wonderful. All right. Are there any other public communications? Seeing none, we will go to the next agenda item, which is adjournment. So I will therefore adjourn this meeting to the August 16th meeting of the Parks and Rec Commission.
All right, good job, guys. Good job.